This documentary is about who Randy is, how he grew up, and what happened to him. He has no voice right now. He was taken by the system, and we can only speak for him. The way he was portrayed in court was wrong. Our legal counsel did not bring in any character witnesses on our behalf to show what type of person Randy really is. So we are Randy's voice right now, and we are bringing this documentary to show you all. In 1988, Randy was born in San Bernardino, California. One of the happiest kids. He always had a smile on his face. At a very young age, Randy found his passion, and that was art. Drawing was something he loved doing, along with playing baseball, riding dirt bikes, and skateboarding. In 2006, Randy graduated high school, receiving various art scholarships. The following year, Randy's pride and joy was born, and that was his son. This child was his world. He spent most of his time raising his son and focusing on art, teaching his son how to draw and ride bikes. He made sure his son was his first priority always. He was now noticed for his art and brand. As he got older, he started putting his art to use and started a clothing brand at the age of 15. He started putting his shirts into local skateboard shops and giving out shirts for free. This is where it all started. Randy finally started making his dreams come true and opened his own tattoo shop and clothing store. Randy was now a local inspiration for all he accomplished with his freelance art and creating a successful brand. It was a place where he showcased his art by throwing art shows for the community. Not only was he loved for his creativity, he was also loved for his personality. Randy was always the light in the room. He cared for others and didn't believe in leaving anyone behind. He was someone who always wanted to help others. Randy made friends with everybody. Sadly, this was all taken away from him one night.
I'm going to start when they first arrived at the bar. This is where they parked in the front. Now we come over on this side, and this is the back of the bar. As you see the white van, that is where Randy and girlfriend were talking to a gentleman and his girlfriend about buying edible. While Randy's two friends were standing over here in this area. While a homeless guy was coming down this driveway to confront one of the friends and ask if he had a beer. The homeless guy got very aggressive because Randy's friend said no. So the homeless guy got verbally loud, which started an argument. I looked up the homeless guy's name. He was in his mid-30s and he had records from disturbing the peace, burglary, to drunk in public. Now, as we're looking the other way, that's where the pool hall was located. All the way across where the flame broiler is, you'll see like a rock wall. That's where the people were at, the other group, when they were coming out of the pool hall. Now, as you see the parking lot, you can see cars parked in the parking lot towards the right. That's where the other people that came out of the pool hall were parked. And the investigators asked them if they had seen anything, and they said no, that they didn't see anything, and that's where their location was. on that side of the parking lot. Now, as we walk over and you look more down the ways, you can see more of the pool hall with the rock pillars towards the left. Now, as we look over across back at the back of the bar, that's where the bouncer and the waitresses came out when they said they heard somebody was fighting. Now, you can see the distance from that door all the way to where the video is. That's the distance from where the fight was at. And the bouncer said that he saw somebody doing a stabbing motion. And then when they asked him on Randy's lineup, he said, I'm not 100% sure.
No, I'm not 100% sure, but he most looks like the guy with the beanie.
Okay, that looks like the guy with the beanie in number 5?
I believe so.
Okay, and was that guy in the bar or was that guy in the fight?
He was in the bar. I don't think I even seen him fight. I seen the other Hispanic guy fight. Pretty much both of the Hispanics fought. I didn't really see too much of what he did.
Okay.
So,
as we look back at the flame broiler where the victims group were standing and smoking cigarettes, they heard the altercation between Randy's friend and the homeless guy. One of the victims in the group thought he would take matters in his own hands, thinking he was helping the homeless guy out, not knowing that the homeless guy was the aggressor. From reports, the victims had blood alcohol level that surpassed the legal limit. In the police transcripts, one of the victims said, I'm going to handle this, and his friend tried to hold him back, but he was aggressive and said, are you with me? And the friend said yes. Now, in this video that's playing shows evidence that the victims group were being the aggressors. You can see the girl in the victims group trying to hold them back from fighting, and more of the victims' backup are approaching. This is the wall that the prosecutor kept talking about. She said Randy climbed over the wall to get in the altercation. She made it sound like if it was a 5-foot wall, which you can see it's only about 2 feet tall. Where the white van was at, Randy heard the commotion, and from there, him and the girlfriend ran over there to see what was going on and try to stop the fight. As they got there, they were involved in the confrontation, and one of the guys kicked Randy in the chest. He fell back, hit his head. Then the girlfriend tried picking him up, and then they heard somebody say, Steven, you just stabbed somebody. As that was being said, everybody started running away from the scene, and that's when Randy and the girlfriend and the friends ran to their car. Now, this video shows the distance. We're standing here where the pool hall is and walking towards where the fight occurred. So you could tell how far the distance the other group had to come to confront Randy's group, which they said that, Randy's group started this fight. The only thing that was going on was Randy's friend talking to the homeless guy, and then these people thought that they would go over there and take care of it. Now, the group is saying that they were trying to help a homeless guy, and you can clearly see that Reed was the aggressor in this whole situation. So talking to Hughes, he is saying in his recorded interview, that the wife was upset that it came out in the media that this was a bar fight.
When they posted it yesterday or this morning, they basically made it sound like it was a bar fight. And we were in one place and they were in another place. And until they started picking on this black guy, we didn't even get involved. So, they're making it sound like we were in a bar and we got into a fight in a bar and it carried out in the parking lot. So Jenny asked me if I would call them and tell them what happened, because she doesn't want her husband, to be, smeared through the papers like that. She was real upset when she read it. And so was, Jason's mother saw it too, and she's like, no, this is not what happened.
Yeah, I
sometimes the media writes things that we don't tell them. They
Yeah.
just infer because
Well,
of the
they
parking
refer
lot.
to, this is the scene, this is, you know, and I try to tell them, I was like, you know, they're just saying that it happened here, and it was a stabbing. They didn't say it was a bar fight, but it's just what it sounds like to everybody else that reads it. If we read it, and
As you can see, it clearly is a bar fight, but he's telling the investigator that she's upset and she doesn't want it portrayed to be that. So in his words, he's trying to say that, is it okay if they're saying that they defended a homeless? Which he was pretty much trying to cover it up. So in the media, it came out as the victim is a hero defending an old homeless man pushing a shopping cart, which it was a young homeless guy that actually picked up the cart and threw it at Randy's friend. Even by reading prelim and trial transcripts, you will know how main witness Hughes lied under oath. Hughes said he's seen the weapon in the left hand and swinging motions with the left hand, and Randy is right-handed. And at the prelim, Hughes said it was a guy wearing an orange beanie. Then at the trial, it was a guy wearing a black or blue baseball cap, because after he was shown pictures of Randy in the bar with the black baseball cap. Then when the prosecutor asked Hughes why he wrote 50% sure on the lineup, he said, because officer told me to. So there was much, much more I could tell you. I'm just trying to summarize key points. So in court, the lawyer didn't bring any character witnesses on Randy's behalf. So here are a few people that can tell you more about Randy.
Randy
Was Randy?
Randy Guzman.
Randy Guzman.
Randy's a good dude. He's real, one word to describe him is real selfless. Like, you know, he always puts others first and put them in positions to try to make their dreams come true also.
Randy was a big inspiration on a lot of people.
I've met him a few times and there's nothing but positive energy and just good vibes.
It's really inspiring for our city as well.
He was a creator and he was just an artist.
He was a former student of mine. He was a great student in class. He was well behaved. He always did his homework and he was a good student. He had a lot of family support at home. He also was well liked and well behaved.
Randy's a good dude, man. He has a good heart and a good soul.
He was always helpful. He looked out for people.
I feel bad because Randy's not even the type to ever even go out. He never even went out. He never went out to the club. He never went out to the bar. All I want my boy to do is just get a fair trial, you know, and be looked at for who he is, not for what he appears to be.
And I just wanted to give my support for him.
What happened to Randy was unfair. From the time of the incident to the trial, they never gave him the proper justice.
I believe it's unfair. I believe that the wrong person is in the system right now, and it's just wrong place at the wrong time. A bunch of he said, she said, and I just feel bad. Please do the right thing and help my friend come home to his family, to his son, and to us. And we all miss him. Thank you.
On September 23rd, 2015, my son Randy Guzman was sentenced to murder and attempted murder, sending him to prison for 35 plus years to life. Now that I've showed you everything on the video, you could clearly see that this was two parties that were intoxicated, exchanging words as any bar rumble. There was no saving a homeless man, which was stated from the other party. It was just one-on-one conversation between Randy's friend and a homeless guy. Bottom line is that this would have not ever happened if the other party wouldn't have been so aggressive. There was no need for the guy from the other party to go over there to that section. The homeless had already walked away, so there was no hero here. This was a bar fight. This was clearly wrong on both parties. So with that being said, with no evidence, no videos, cameras, no 100% sure witnesses, my son was convicted to this murder. The police lineup was all guys with short hair and no tattoos. Randy was the only one on the lineup that had long hair and face tattoos. They needed to put other guys with long hair and face tats on the lineup, which was not right. When the police arrived to the scene, they stated there was around 50 people in the parking lot. The man that stabbed and lived stood on the stand and said that he didn't even know who had stabbed him. He didn't even know he had even got stabbed. Every witness who stood up there and spoke stated that they were not sure who was the one that did the murder. As one witness later on in the trial seemed to be schooled already, but still never said he was sure Randy was the one that did the stabbing to his friend. Both parties were intoxicated. No one was sure who did it. Not once did they let my son go up there and speak on the stand and tell his story. My son wasn't able to tell his story as his attorney told him not to. So that's why I'm here to speak for him. It's never too late. The judge labeled my son as a remorseless human, a danger to society. Randy was never in trouble or violent. My son was a local artist and owned a few businesses. As you read this, you think, yeah, every mother's going to say that their son was in trouble. But everybody who knew Randy could say the same. He was always giving, helping the community. You just seen a picture of him with a homeless man. He would give homeless people shirts. Randy sponsored dancing groups for children, providing free shirts to the kids. Randy was inspirational to many in our community. He had kids who looked up to him and still, even as adults, ask me that Randy inspired them in some way with his art. He gave people hope that they can turn their dreams into reality. My son has a talent. He doesn't belong being locked in a cage for something he did not do, especially with no proof. I will fight and do what I can to help my son get his freedom again. I'm not here to bash the other party or anyone. I just want them to get the right person that did this. I just want my son home and be able to continue his journey and be home with his son. I have tried to reach out to Innocence Projects with no prevail. I have contacted 2 high-profile attorneys who one wants $100,000 and another $35,000, which is above our means, especially at this time with all this going on in this world. Please, if anyone can help us with our case or donate to our GoFundMe, it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you all for hearing our story.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy R2 right here holding it down. Just want to thank everybody for all the support. I appreciate everything, and I should be out there soon.